How many people have a black and white TV? Nobody. So why are you still using a black and white resume?
Good question.
Excellent question. Here's a guy, John Walton, not his real name. I love this guy because it started a lot of stuff for me. This guy calls me after the Nortel thing, calls me and leaves these, you got to call me back, or I really want to talk to you. I don't care. So what? Who cares? Why you, right? That's the first thing that goes through my mind every time somebody calls me. Oh, would you please call me back? No, I don't think so. Click. So this guy calls me like 50 bazillion times. I return no messages. And then one morning, I'm at my desk in my home office at 5:30 getting ready to go, and I get this ding-a-ling-a-ling, and instinctively I pick up the phone. Who is it? John Walton. Hi, David, I've been calling for... Yeah, John, I know, I got all your messages. He says, well, like I want you to represent... John, I'm not interested. I said, I don't handle people like you, or something negative to that effect. Okay, it was pre-coffee, all right? So I kind of got an excuse. I just wanted rid of him, and I said... And he said, well, I'm the kind of guy you should be representing. I said, okay. You got 15 seconds. Tell me why I should bother to worry about you or represent you. And if that sounds a little harsh, understand something. I got a business, I got a wife, I got kids that I support that eat more than anyone can ever imagine. Shake the fridge at night and there's no food, and I just filled it up in the morning. So I'm all about getting cash in. No offense, we're all in that business. And he says, well, I'm this. I said, you're not special, John. He says, well, I won the President's Award 3 times. And I said, what? No way. He goes, absolutely, it's in my resume. No, I said, well, why didn't you put it in your resume? And he says, well, I did. And I said, wait a minute. So I Google him on pull it up, and I go, okay, John, I got it right in front of me. I'm going through the first page. I see nothing that says Nortel accomplishments. I said, so where did you put it? He goes, go to the 3rd page. You see they're 2 inches from the bottom? Oh my God. So we had this great chat about what he was doing wrong. I said, John, listen, I'll tell you what, before I go into the office this morning, I'm going to redo your resume, I'm going to fix it, it's free, do not tell anyone that I did this. You don't have any friends, I don't care. You just use it, don't tell anyone. He says, deal. So I did his resume. That's his resume. Now I got to tell you, honestly, if this had come across my desk, or if it had even come in my email, I would have stopped long enough to go, what's this? We live in this MTV world, right? Roseanne versus gorgeous Santa helper. Okay? Come on, guys. Who are you going to stop and look at? You know the answer to the question. It ain't Rosie. It's gorgeous Santa girl. So I did this resume for him, and all we simply did, and there's 1,000 iterations, and Kevin will talk about it. 1,000 iterations you can do on this. I just took what is going to get an employer's attention. Well, to win one of these awards is a really big deal. To win 2 is unheard of. To win 3, come on, the guy's got to be lying. He wasn't. So we put this on the side of his resume. He starts faxing these things out, and he's getting phone calls from recruiters who wouldn't even take his call before that, who are now going, ding, ding, ding. There's a $sign stamped in the middle of this boy's head. Hey, it's all about the cash, guys. And he got a job in a couple of weeks. He got multiple offers.
That's how it happens.
But that's what a Guerrilla resume is. So which would you do, guys? If you're sitting there, you're the CEO of your own company, and you get 2 resumes in the morning, and you're in the middle of your second sip of coffee, and we lay honestly now, and we lay these 2 down on your desk, which one are you going to look at? The one on the right or the one on the left? Okay, who votes for one on right?
Give your book back.
This is my right. Who votes for this one? Thank you. Give me a hard time or what?
And folks, you don't even have to see the words to know intuitively that this is the equivalent of a speed bump. You start your resume with 8 lines of dense text. You're telling the reader, warning, warning,
remember Charlie Brown's teacher? Who cares? Why you? You know this. That is Tell me what you're going to do for me now. You got 3 inches. I was going to make the joke. I'm not going to make it. I'm going to make it. Size matters, not the way you think. It's the first 3 inches of your resume that makes it whether or not I'm going to read the rest. Honestly. If I can't find what I'm looking for, because you've already interrupted my day. You've sent me a resume that I didn't want. You're very rude. You think you're doing me a favor, you're not. I got to respond to this thing. If you don't tell me in the first 3 inches what's in it for me, gone. It's a cold reality. It's real. That's why Martin's resumes work.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind is not only be sexy. What was I? I'm headed in another direction. Do the thinking for the reader.
Yes.
What is important? These are important. You can't miss these. So this guy, through David channeled him. Do the thinking for the reader. Find out. You have to know what's most important about me and their problems, and make it impossible to miss. And the graphics won't always work, but in this case, he did the thinking for the reader. He had multiple job offers. His life turned around. So what we're going to tell you, when we tell you about doing a guerrilla resume, it's really, sexiness for conservative people.
Because we know you're all not going to do that. I see the faces going, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put a logo of a company that I worked for, even though it was, IBM or Oracle or Canadian Pacific. That's a brand name on my resume. I won't do that. So if you really won't do that, and you should, by the way, you should try it at least 3 or 4 times. Trust me, you will not be struck down from the clouds. Nobody gets punished for being creative, ever. Well, okay, maybe in China, but that's another set of jokes. And I can't go into them now. So how can you possibly be sexy yet conservative? Kevin?
I will guide you. Again, you don't have to read the words to know that this is not exciting. How many of your eyes are drawn anywhere in particular? Any of this is 0. And the reason being, there are no numbers, dollars, or figures to grab your attention. It's not my responsibility to be excited by you. It's not David's. There should be a bumper sticker. What would David read? WWDR. Because he's the poster boy for attention deficit disorder. And if you can't get his attention in 3 seconds, 3 inches rather, you're probably not going to get any other recruiters or hiring managers' attention. So you've really got to work to do the thinking for the reader and be riveting. It's not hard. Half the secret, most of the secret, is having specific dollars, numbers, and figures. This is a bad example. We're going to go better and best in quick fashion. Yeah, there might have been. But, so what I've...
Close!
So what you've got to do is add up all the money you've saved or earned over the years. You may have heard this before, but you've got to spell it out and make them easy to find. Never spell out numbers. Use actual numbers for a start. And always use dollar signs. Don't say dollars. Use the dollar sign. It jumps out at you. I've made them red for you here. If you'll notice, I've got, in the first bullet, I'll just pick the two, $5.2 million in one action he did, and he produced $2 million in another. This is better, but really, add it up. 5.2 and 2.2 is 7.4. So add up the total value, come up with the biggest credible figure, annualize your figures. If you did something in a month, multiply it by 12. Come up with the biggest credible figures, and you do this by annualizing your money or adding it up.
And these have to be real. You all know this, right? They have to be real, and you have to be able to drill down or allow the employer to drill down to make sure that they're real, and so that you can explain to them exactly what you did, action by action by action by action, so they know it's real.
And specifics imply credibility. Never say thousands of dollars. Never say more than 10,000. Say 11,537, because it tells the reader this guy or gal is on the ball.
23 cents.
Do the cents if you can. But it tells them, this has got to be true because they wouldn't lie to me. The figures are right here, and of course it's got to be true. But you can infinitely improve your resume just by being as specific as possible. This sells in sales letters, it sells in advertisements, it'll sell in your resume. Well, I've given away my position here. I was hoping to have these in a before and after. It's more dramatic when you see the before without the after, but this is from an actual client resume. I wrote this in 2001 during the tech bubble bust, and this was a guy who was floundering, and this